take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody. It's time!
It's Sunday, May 22nd, 2022. This is the Church of MMA podcast. My name is Tabor Cragen.
My name is Mason Knight. This is episode 121, Holm versus Vieira recap. After that, we jump to some MMA news. And then that's about it this week, guys. Not a whole lot. No card next weekend for Memorial Day weekend. So
Remember that intro all those years ago?
Yeah.
It's like that. I'll never forget that day. It's Saturday. Who gives a shit? It's Memorial Day weekend, and that's all that matters. That shit was hilarious.
I do. That was a good riff, Tabor. Good improv is what they say. It's yes and.
That's classic. Those are
Yeah,
good
it
times
is.
to go back and listen to those
Yeah,
episodes.
they really are. With the black wall, you couldn't see any coloring or anything. We didn't have any artwork up. We've come a long way.
We really, really have. But yeah, as always, guys, we start with our social media accounts, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Gab, Getter. I didn't make a Truth Social for the podcast.
That's quite all right. I'm sure
thinking
no
about-
one on planet Earth is using Truth Social.
Well, it's the biggest social media networking app on the App Store right now, which is insane, isn't it?
Is
The name of it, yeah, it is. It actually is. But the name's insane. And most people, I think, are on waiting lists. Dude, I had to wait like 4 months to finally get my account up.
Bro, I don't even use social media to begin with. I'm not making another one. Tell you that much.
There's
I could
so
give
many.
fucking two shits
There's
less.
so many.
What the fuck all these idiots on social media are saying.
Yeah.
I just I can't do social media at all. Like in any capacity. I just my life's so much happier now. It really is. It really is, man.
Yeah, well, guys, go follow us there. Hit up our Instagram. That's probably the one we post the most too, guys. It's the one we like using the most. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Getter, Gab. Links are all down in the description, down in our link tree. And if you want to support the show, we do have a Patreon. $5 a month gives you a lot of exclusive content, exclusive Second Service podcasts, audio only, and video versions. And if you want to support us, hit us up over there. We also have a beautiful church coin belt sitting in front of me and Mason right now. If you want to join the competition to win that belt, that is the upper tiers on Patreon. $10 a month gets you into that competition. Gives you a 10% discount on our Teespring store. Go get yourself a mask, a t-shirt, a hoodie, lots of different designs, lots of fun stuff over there. $15 a month on the Patreon gets you a 20% discount on the merch, guys. So if you want them discounts, hit up our Patreon. See you there very soon. Cannot wait for that. Let's just start at the card, I guess.
Yep.
Did you like this card, overall, before we get into the main event? Was it a good card in your opinion? I'm gonna be honest. I felt like I had to force myself to watch this card. I was just super uninterested. I know the fights were good, but it's I just didn't fucking care.
I'll be honest. I was excited about the Chidi and Dusko fight. I was excited about the Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Michelle Pereira fight, but I wasn't overly excited for the main event. And that's obviously no disrespect to any of those ladies, but it wasn't that great of a card. And especially having, next week off, it was rough. But dude, I'm telling you right now that, there was some good fights on this card for sure. There's some audio going on.
That was my bad.
Okay.
Sorry, I deleted it.
But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Normally I go if I don't watch the card live, if we're not doing a fight clean or something, I'll wake up early Sunday morning and I'll watch it all, and I'm genuinely excited to watch.
Yeah.
This main event, I really had to force myself to just sit down and watch it. I wasn't entertained. I'm gonna be honest. Let's get into that though. I didn't really like it.
Bro, I thought that Pons versus Pereira
That was a great fight.
Awesome.
I love that fight.
Yeah.
But I'm talking main event specifically. I was very bored watching this main event.
Yeah.
And that's no disrespect to either of these ladies. They went out there and they did what they had to do.
But I mean,
Go ahead.
what's got to be the title of this podcast for episode 121, Holm versus Vieira recap, is #robbery. Bro, and I don't know if you have a different opinion because you were really quiet in the chat, so I don't know if you're going to play devil's avocado here. But for once, we gotta do this. Hold on, we gotta do this right now on the podcast live. Sal got it right. Good for you, Sal. I'm proud of you. You scored that card right. That main event, Sal. Oh, man, my guy, my buddy, my pal. You were the only one to score that fight.
Well, how'd you do the
correctly.
rounds?
Well, one was Holm. That was easy.
Holm. The
two was
two was a little
Ketlen.
closer.
Easy. No, Ketlen definitely won round two. I actually agree with Devin here. 3 was definitely debatable. 4 and 5 were Holm.
Yeah.
It was all Holly. Like, when the judge's scorecard in one judge, first he reads off Sal's got it 48-47. Sal was the first guy reading off, and I go, okay, well then Holly should definitely win this fight. If Sal can get this right, anyone can get it right, you know? And it was very surprising to me that it was a split decision, but I go, at least, you know, Sal was the big hurdle that you had to get over for like picking it right. So when the second scorecard read, I go, okay, whatever, it's a split, but Holly definitely won this fight. I mean, everyone saw it, right? She outstruck Ketlen Vieira 2-1 and had 10 minutes of control.
And she was dominating in all of the clinch positions. Like there was very few my issue with the fight is just they were just clinching a lot for most of it. And there wasn't much damage being landed. Like, yeah, there was an elbow here, a knee there, and all that, and maybe a punch here when they broke up. But it's like, Ketlen did nothing. In which, shout out to her corner. Remember when her corner was just freaking the fuck out on her?
Not to mention, she got knocked down by that kick.
Yeah.
In the fourth round?
The fourth round, yeah.
And no judge gave the fourth round to Holly, I don't think.
That's insane.
Well, and Holly just outstruck her that round, too.
Yeah.
It was clear as day. And yeah, I'm not taking anything away from Ketlen here, and I'm not saying like she didn't have a good performance because she did. But to Holly's 3 or 4 strikes, you would get like one big punch from Ketlen, and that was it.
She wasn't doing like. You remember how like she first gets knocked out by Aldana? It's like that mental barrier. She's just like doing nothing. That showed back up again.
Yeah. And like, I just didn't understand because even her corner going into the 5th round, they're like, Ketlen, you are down 3-1. You have to get a finish here. You have no choice. And to think that if her corner says she's down 3-1 and then she gets completely dominated in the 5th round, this should be in the bag for Holly Holm. And like the post-fight, as soon as the card was revealed,
she was crying because she knows she didn't win, and like, they gave her a win.
And again, we have to be able to separate this the same way with like, you know, Star Wars and not getting mad at the actors. You cannot get mad. No, I'm serious. You cannot get mad at the fighter. She went out there and fought 5 hard rounds. She did a great job, and like she deserves to be respected because she does something that a lot of people can't do. However, the blame must be had on the judges here. It was an absolute atrocity.
The judges, Mike Bell, he gave Holly round 1 and round 5, which I agree with, but then he gave round 2, 3, and 4 to Ketlen, and I was like,
what the fuck was he watching?
I don't know how you could give Ketlen 4. I could understand 3.
Okay,
I personally had, I said Holly was 3-1 going into the 5th round. Debatable if you want to just do the 2-2 for fun. I said, sure, why not? And then Derek clearly gave it round 1 and 5 to Holly, but then also gave round 2, 3, and 4 to Ketlen. And I was like, but how?
4, I don't see that.
I don't see it at all. And then our pal Sal gave round 1, 3, and 5 to Holly. I don't know how he
So
didn't
even though he did it right, he still fucked up.
I don't know how. I thought he would have given 1, 4, and 5 if you want to do like for sure. So 3, I was like, oh, okay. But
and there's an argument to be made that Holly could have won 4 of those 5 rounds. 3 was debatable, but I wouldn't have been mad if they had given that to Holly.
So I thought, hey, if he gave her 3, how did he not give her 4?
Yeah, how did he not give her 4?
I thought 1, 4, and 5 were for sure Holly, and then you could debate 3, but I still would slide it to Holly. I'd understand. I wouldn't be mad if you gave it to Ketlen, but I thought she was up 4-1 or at bare minimum 3-2. I don't understand how you give the 4th round to Ketlen at all. But
I don't get it.
Makes no sense.
I don't get it. It was the craziest night of fights too, and like eventually we're gonna talk about the co-main too. I thought the judges shit the bed on that one. A terrible night of judging. And again, Dana always says it. Don't leave it up to the judges' scorecards, but you're at an elite level here in the UFC. It's hard to finish people week in, week out, you know. But Holly Holm too. Talk about the heart that she had, because Ketlen Vieira in that 2nd round damn near had that choke. That was almost a
I thought she was going to tap.
I thought she was going to tap too. I mean, you see her face turn all red, and she was like gasping for breath. She couldn't get any air. And I was like, ooh, this is not good. She's going to tap, which I was kind of hoping for that because I needed to get out of there. I actually had to leave after round 3 to go to a movie, and then I came back and finished the fight. But, man, it's so wild. And Ketlen, let's go back to that, the post-fight. she collapses as if she just won the world title, as if she just saved an entire school bus full of children from driving completely off the cliff.
She claps like she beat Odium.
Right.
Like she
like
pushed
she beat
back the Voidbringers. Like, I just don't understand.
And that's that. And again, absolutely no hate towards Ketlen Vieira at all. Like, she's a fighter and she wants to win, and it is what it is. So this is not on the side of her. I'm not poking fun at her, but when you get a reaction like that, when your coaches tell you you're down, when everyone tells you you're down, did you guys see DC as well? DC,
I told
DC.
you when he was walking, his face was.
He was like this. Okay. And then, like, the way he posed the questions, too, like, he knew that Holly Holm won that fight. And look, let's think about this as well. DC is probably not, I don't want to say, like, whatever, but there is, obviously, Holly Holm trained with John Jones for a very long time, right? So he is not, like, best friends with Holly by any capacity. But, like, even he knew. He was like...
Did you listen to the commentary during the fight?
Yeah. Yeah, he was like, what? You think this is 2-2?
So he tweeted out, well, I'm wrong again. Ketlen won that. I'll have to go back and see how and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, hey, man.
No, you're not wrong.
You're not wrong, DC.
No, DC, no, you got that one right. I mean, the judges just did a horrible job. But, like, even the way he was phrasing those questions, he was like, Ketlen, did you think you did enough to win this fight? Like, what?
I will admit, this time around, I did not get to finishing all the post-fight interviews. Did Dana talk about this at all?
I didn't get to watch those fights.
I don't even think he did
was
a
there,
press
was
conference.
Probably because he said, nah, this is whack, and just dipped out.
Yeah, probably.
Was he even in the building? I don't know.
He went to go gamble. I don't know.
He got kicked out of the Palms again. It's unfortunate, man. I mean, how many times we talk about these fucking judging and how, like, it affects these fighters' careers and all that. And, like, it sucks for Holly. Like, do I ever see her, like, legitimately fighting for the title again? Like, even if she won the fight, like, I just don't. Maybe if Pena beats Nunez again, but it's just weird. Now you get a situation where Ketlen Vieira is saying in the post-fight press conference, she's essentially going to wait for this next title fight. Like, do you think she gets it? Like, what do you think is going to happen?
So,
because this fight's now happening in July.
I want to hit this one little point, too, because you brought it up, and it makes I just want to add on to it. When there's a bad scorecard, it drastically affects a fighter in their career. But it really drastically affects your career when you're 40 years old and you only have one or two more fights to whether or not we think she can win the belt or not, that's beside the point. But when Holly Holm goes out there 40 years old and is trying to make one last run at the belt, and you have an egregious scorecard like this, like, that is, I mean, Holly, like, and again, while Ketlen was talking and doing her thing, you could see Holly in the background, and she was just, like,
baffled.
Like, she didn't understand. She didn't compute. And then when DC went over there after interviewing Ketlen, she was like, I thought I won that fight. She goes, yeah, I'll give her the second round, but I thought I won that fight 4-1.
I'll say she kept it very professional, very respectful.
She did, because I could have, if I was Holly, I would have been.
Just knocks DC out.
Pissed, man.
Head kicks.
I'd have been so pissed, especially after 5 rounds like that. But
it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. What do we do with Ketlen now?
I mean, like,
we got to do something with her.
Here's the thing. Okay, like, again, as I've said this before, I don't want to take anything away from Ketlen. I think she's a fantastic fighter. I really do. And I think, she has had some wars. She absolutely dismantled former champion Miesha Tate. She looked phenomenal in that fight. And she had bright spots in this fight against Holly Holm. She was connecting. She was landing some big shots on Holly. But, I do believe Holly won that fight. So at the end of the day, I think maybe you just, maybe she is right. Maybe you just wait. I mean, if you were Ketlen Vieira, once you wait, you just took out 2 former champions back to back on the scorecard. So it's like, yeah, you kind of just wait, because at this point, Holly Holm was number 2 in the world. Amanda Nunez, number 1 contender. They're going to fight. I mean, she's not going to rematch Irene Aldana, or maybe that's the fight she needs to.
It just depends on how long we wait. I mean, is Amanda Nunez beats Pena, or do they do the trilogy right off the bat?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, they do the trilogy right off the bat. Yeah.
I mean, it's the only fight to make.
Because it's the only girl that's beaten Amanda in what?
Fucking
6 years?
7 years.
7 years?
Like
yeah, dude, like something crazy. So yeah, you absolutely have to do the trilogy. And like, I would, for how much of an upset that was, I would be very mad at the UFC if they did not give Juliana Pena one last shot. If she did lose to Amanda. But, I mean, Juliana Pena could go out there and beat Amanda again. You never know.
That'd be so crazy.
That would be. It really would.
I might put money on Pena just because the way she looked in the first fight. Why the fuck not?
I'm hoping Amanda's like maybe. Do you think Amanda hits? No. I think Amanda will be the favorite in that fight. I really believe that. I still think Amanda will be the favorite. Believe it or not.
I meant Pena.
I understand why she would be the favorite, but do you guys see it as a little disrespectful if Juliana was?
Yeah,
not
that's
the favorite.
Exactly what's going to happen.
Because that's the champ.
That's exactly what's going to happen, though. She's going to be like a plus 220 or something like that. That's what I'm saying.
Because it makes sense. Amanda would be the favorite. I mean, she's been two champ division like dominant for years, but then to not put the favorite on the current champ is a little odd. I mean, we've seen it before, but it's a little weird. What do you guys think the odds would be for that?
I'm saying 220 to like a minus fucking.
So yeah, no, he's
220
right.
to
Here
a
it
minus
is.
310 or some shit.
So according to BJPen.com, this was released on Best Fight Odds. Future events: the Amanda Nunez versus Juliana Pena 2. Amanda Nunez coming in at a minus 250 favorite to a plus 210 Juliana Pena. That is so disrespectful for how good Juliana Pena looked in that first fight. That is bonkers. They still have her.
I might go throw
favorite.
$10 on Pena. Why not?
Yeah.
That's wild, man. How is that? How is it that deep after what she was able to do? That's crazy.
It's Vegas, baby.
I thought you do like minus 110.
Yeah, maybe
plus,
like 110 or
plus
140 even.
or something, just to make it. That card's crazy.
To be fair, those odds that just popped up were from January. That was their futures bet, so the line could change drastically.
I would
by then.
hope so.
Yeah, but still, that's wild.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah. Any closing thoughts on Holm Vieira? Like obvious, like.
I mean, I feel bad for
robbery.
Holly.
I feel bad for Holly. Like,
I mean, she's a legend of the sport. She knocked out Ronda Rousey with that crazy.
Is she
going to
keep fighting?
I think she's got one more in her at least. I feel like she should just fight Irene or something or Raquel and then just.
She beat the shit out of Irene,
Mm-hmm.
and then like she beat the shit out of Raquel. I think.
You know what I think?
Who else is for her to fight though, Tabor?
This is what I think Holly Holm's going to do. I think she needs to sit down with Dana and kind of go over that fight and be like, hey, am I still in contention? Like, Dana, you saw that fight. Like, I think everyone on planet Earth saw that fight, except for those 2 out of 3 judges. So, like, is Holly still in contention? If she is, I think she'll still try to make a run for a belt, maybe in 2 or 3 fights. But I think if Dana's like, hey.
Yeah, but who? Like, who is she going to fight? Like, that's the issue. It's like, she beat Irene.
I know.
She beat Raquel. Like, she's beaten everyone that's right underneath her.
Okay.
I know, which is.
I feel like she's still in contention, and I feel.
Well, so do I.
Dana is a logical man, reasonable man. He'll
fight the loser of the title fight.
I suppose, but
how about this? How about this? This actually makes perfect sense. Okay, so let's say, and again, this is all hypothetical, of course, but Amanda Nunez, Juliana Pena 2, let's say hypothetically Amanda gets her belt back. Juliana could beat her, but obviously she beat her once. But if Amanda gets her belt back, they're going to do the immediate trilogy. Do the rematch. Ketlen Vieira, Holly Holm, #1 contender. You got to do that rematch because 90% of people think that Holly Holm won that fight. And that's the true #1 contender right there. Like, and you can't just let Ketlen sit back and wait for that shot for over a year. Like, and Holly deserves that fight again. She really does because, like, she won that fight. That's how I would do it if I was a UFC. Because, like, that was one of the worst judges' scorecards I've ever seen in my life.
Just, I understand that people don't like the way fighters fight sometimes, but 10 plus minutes of control clinch time, I mean, 2 rounds worth. And you don't give her round 4 at all?
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like Dana's a logical man. I mean, we've seen fighters get a title shot after a loss before, so it's not impossible. Is she going to be waiting like a year? Yeah. So I guess it would make sense to do that. Just run it back with that Vieira fight because, like you said, she beat Raquel, she beat Irene. There's really not much for her to do besides just rematch Ketlen. I mean, she's not going to fight down. I imagine she'd be bumped to 3, so I don't see her fighting down at all. Like you said, she's nearing the end of her fighting career. No disrespect at all, but She's getting up there. I'd say she's got 2 to 3 fights left in her. I say you just do the rematch. So I agree with Mason there.
That's fine.
Or if she wants to wait and she gets a title shot, I would be fine with that. I don't want to be that guy where it's like, oh, you were robbed, but that's pretty egregious.
I'm gonna be the guy that's like, I just don't give a fuck. Like, I just don't fucking care. Like, I just don't. Like, I'm sorry. Like, none of these fights are like intriguing to me right now. Like, the only one I really want to see in the bantamweight division is Juliana, Pena, and Nunez too.
Yeah, I get that.
It's just, I just don't care. I'm sorry. Like, Ketlen Vieira gets fucking smoked by both those women right now, I think. Like, I'm just gonna be honest. Like, it's just, I'm sorry.
I would agree that both the number 1 contender and champion would beat
the shit out of her.
I didn't say those words exactly,
beat
but
the shit out of her. I think they finish her. Amanda Nunez or fucking Pena right now. I'm sorry. I'm just going to say it. Like, that fight was so not entertaining to me. Ketlen Vieira.
It wasn't that bad.
She did nothing for a couple of rounds, like, literally did nothing.
I didn't think
I
that
know
fight
it
was
wasn't
that
Carla
bad,
Esparza, Rose Namajunas level, but, like,
no,
I was so
that's
fucking
what
bored.
I felt like the hesitation from her was at that level, so I just don't understand how her lack of output got her the win.
That's what doesn't make sense.
Because she landed good, hard shots on Holly, for sure. But there wasn't, for every one shot Ketlen hit, Holm landed 10, or 5. So it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
obviously, I'm too dumb to understand the judges' scorecards, I guess.
Well, I sent you guys the numbers. I mean, Holly Holm
completely
outstruck her
like insane.
2-1.
The significant strikes are just look at those alone. It's absolutely insane. Like,
plus the knockdown,
know,
plus she got back up on her feet after the takedowns. I mean, the control time, I just don't.
Control's like 10. It's like 10 minutes to 2
over
minutes
10 minutes. Yeah, it was like 10 minutes and 20 seconds or something like that. It's just
insane.
like,
Clearly, we don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
No.
And we should just shut the fuck up and just end the podcast now.
Oh, and W came in with a great one here. I'd like to see Holm versus JDR rematch. That's a great fight. Why the fuck not? Is she even ranked anymore? Where is Drain Mandarin in the rankings right now?
no idea.
Not even in them. It's been a while since she's fought, so she's out. But yeah, I like that fight too. And I didn't even think about that. That'd be a good one. 3 round zone, no main event. Yes, please. Absolutely agree, 100% there. Let's get into church coin so we can go to the co-main event. I put 2,500 on Vieira, and that gave me a sweet return of 4,375 church coin. I also had Vieira by decision for 500 church coin, which was another return of 1,900 church coin. So I did pretty well in that main event, even though I don't deserve any of those church coin.
No, and nor do I. I put 3,025 on Vieira. I got 5,293 back. And then I also had Vieira by decision for 500. Got me 19.
You guys didn't
return.
choose Holly for this?
Fuck no.
No, I didn't.
40 years old, dude. I'm sorry. Like,
well, and I thought
she won the fight.
Here's the thing. I thought Ketlen, the way she looked against Miesha Tate, I thought she was going to go out there and beat Holly Holm.
Well, she came out there looking like 2 fighters she fought a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
So.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, come on, guys. Come on.
It was bad, dude.
It was not that bad.
The judging alone was bad, but like
it wasn't that bad. The fight itself wasn't that bad. I'm just saying she didn't have a big output. I don't see how she won. I'm not.
But Holly
she wasn't throwing 20 strikes to hold.
No, Holly did fine. I feel like Ketlen didn't do enough to win. I'm not on the hype train of Tabor saying this is trash completely, but
no, it's not. I mean, Holly landed 123 head strikes, like 70 leg kicks. Like she threw a lot, man.
She got a lot of the head kicks too.
Yeah,
the front kicks to the face.
Yeah, the front kicks to the face. The side kicks to the body.
I mean, we're just going in circles, but yeah, this is.
Yeah, we'll move on.
I just didn't care.
Let's talk about the co-main event of the evening, Santiago Ponzinibbio versus Michel Pereira.
This was a great fucking fight. And
this was fight of the night.
I'm gonna give you my take right now because Michel Pereira, if this is the way he's gonna fight in his future, like he's actually gonna contend with a lot of these guys at 170. Because his patience, his timing, his calculated strikes, his kicks, everything flowed so well. How many backflips did he do in this fight?
0.
Thank God.
Yes.
Thank God. Okay. Give me more backflips, bro. I need more backflips, man.
Backflip off the top of the cage.
This is the most boring fucking fight I've ever seen. If I would have seen 7 backflips,
come on, dude. WWFC, let's go.
No,
merge it.
I'm gonna be honest, dude. I was super impressed. He saved his gas tank to the 3rd round, and that 3rd round was fucking incredible.
Yeah.
They were throwing all caution to the wind. They were going for the KO. Whenever you hear when they'll zoom in on like the fighter corner and the corner's going, you have to fucking do everything you possibly can to win this fight right now because it is 2-2 coming into this round. You need to win this fucking fight. You need to win this round. And corners were just screaming at each other. You know how many fights we see in the UFC where the corners are freaking the fuck out and their fighter does nothing?
Yeah.
They stand there, they get hit with shots, they barely throw anything, and the corner sitting there, throw hands, throw kicks, just do everything you possibly can to win the fight. These two men actually did that.
Yeah.
They were actually throwing. They were actually trying to get the finish. They actually put their hearts out on the shield. And I think that's actually becoming a more rare thing in the UFC nowadays because how many times do we see corners freaking out when the fighter does nothing?
Yeah.
A lot. I was very impressed with both these men.
Okay, so first and foremost, awesome fight.
It was incredible.
It was really good. Michelle Pereira looked phenomenal in that first round. Really good. And I was like, man, this might be an ass beating for Ponzinibbio. Ponzinibbio turned it around the second, and then I thought completely dominated Michelle Pereira in the third. Yeah, they were landing strikes, but I thought Pons was just landing left and right. I want to talk about the scorecard a little bit here because, one, this scorecard was all over the place. And for the judge that had this, and look, please, for the sake of it, we need to just completely take out your opinions on Churchcoin because I do not care, okay? I put money on Ketlen Vieira, and I do not think she won that fucking fight, and I wish she wouldn't have won that fight, and I wish I would have lost my Churchcoin. This fight was closer, much closer. But for that judge to have this fight 30-27 for Michelle Pereira
That's crazy.
Is fucking ridiculous.
Who was that? Was that
Is
Sal?
ridiculous.
Ron McCarthy.
Ron McCarthy, you
Never
should
heard
be
of that guy.
fired. I don't know how you give the third round to Pereira. I don't. I mean, look at the significant.
I don't know, man. That was pretty. I thought that was a close
Okay,
round.
I'll pull up the numbers, and when you see the numbers, it's he outstruck him 2-1, and that it was all standing
Mainly towards the end because he did wobble Pereira really good there in the last 2 minutes, and then he was just kind of outstriking him there. Yeah, okay, I'll give you that.
The second's a closer round. But
I thought the first was definitely Michelle.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it was all Michelle round one. And that's why I thought it was going to be an ass beating. But for that guy to give him all three of those rounds, I could not believe that. So it was 29-28, Ponzinibbio. And then Michelle got 29-28, which I'm okay with. Yeah. And then the other judge gave him 30-27. And I don't see that. I don't see that in any capacity. I thought a third was for sure, unquestionably, Ponzinibbio. It's wild. I thought the judge's scorecard was awful last night. Just terrible.
Yeah, I just liked the third round. I was just super entertained watching it.
It was fantastic. A great fight. Ponzinibbio was pissed, too, because he thought he won that fight, and he walked right the fuck out when they read those scorecards.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to NW. When Michelle isn't doing all that nonsense, he's actually a very solid technical fighter. Plus, he's huge for the division, very athletic. I don't know how this man makes 170. It's absolutely fucking insane how this man makes 170. He should be fighting at 185. Let's be real. He's thick. He's a thick boy. I really like to see Michelle versus Wonderboy. It's a step up, and a win could turn Michelle into a star. Plus, Wonderboy's age and his title days are over. Use his name to build up a future contender. I love that matchup. I love it. Why not?
Wonderboy's winning that.
Wonderboy's probably winning that, yeah.
So, round 3, show stats per round. Hold on.
I love how they have their bodies in front of all the stats, so you can't fucking see anything.
It's so stupid. It's so dumb. So never mind.
What the fuck's the point?
The UFC's website is just
garbage.
so shit, man.
It's complete garbage.
It's so bad.
I'm just very impressed with Michelle. I know some people say, he didn't win all 3 rounds and all that stuff. That's fine, but I'm fine with whatever decision they wanted to make in this fight because I really don't think either of these men lose that much stock. Like, Michelle's going to be ranked. Is Ponzinibbio going to get knocked out of the rankings? I don't think so. I think he could be sticking around 14, 15. But if Michelle fights like that against, name a guy in the top 15 right now, like Ant says Wonderboy. Like, Michelle fights like that versus Rachmanov, Jeff Neal, Jing Liang, Michael Chiesa, Neil Magny, Sean Brady. Like, he matches up well with a lot of these guys in the division, I think. If he fights like that, I think he can win. And I might actually take him in most of these fights. It's just, is he going to get crazy? Is he going to blow his gas tank? I don't know. I hope not, because when he blows his gas tank, he turns into a fucking, like a fish.
Yeah.
He's just fucked. Like, he's like a fish out of water. So a shout out to Michelle for saving that gas tank and having a fantastic third round, because if he fights like that, I'm going to take him in a lot of these fights. Like, is he going to beat Sean Brady? I don't know. Is he going to beat Kiesa? Probably. I don't know. I love these matchups, though. Let's do it. Yeah. Give him anybody in this division. What do we do with Ponzinibbio, though? Because he is starting to get old. What is he, like 36 years old right now?
Yeah, 35, yep.
It's just he's struggling, man.
Yeah, but he looked good in that fight. He looked good in that fight.
I mean, like, if the Ponzinibbio 2-3 years ago would like smoke, you'd think that guy would have to beat fucking Michelle.
But remember, he took like 3.5 years off a couple years ago, and I don't know what was going on, but he took a long time off in between, and maybe it's just taking him a little time to get back on the saddle here. I mean, but this fight was awesome. It was entertaining, and he looked really good. You know, I thought his head movement could have been better, and that was one of the highlights of Michel Pereira, especially in that opening round, is his head movement was brilliant, man. He was evading a lot of those huge shots by Ponzinibbio, and he was having a hard time. I think with Pereira, I think the biggest thing with him, man, because he can be a future contender in this division. However, he's got to get better at his gas tank, because, like, man, you bring Michel Pereira, if he ever can fight on a main event, on a 5-round fight, his cardio is going to be fucked, man.
To be honest,
because
Mason,
towards the end of that third round, he was getting
I think
gassed.
you got to give him a little bit of leniency here, because gas prices are getting a little expensive, so his tank's going to be a little lower than usual.
Bro. I saw a meme. It's like, man,
gas
I hope gas
wild.
prices don't get too crazy. And then it's like gas prices, and it was a picture of Amber Heard.
Did you hear?
So good.
Supposedly he's coming back for another Disney film. I thought he wasn't going to do it.
I heard gas prices might hit like $6 to $8.
They're saying the average is going to be 6 to 8, but they're saying they're already preparing. Some gas stations in Washington already added an extra number slot so they could hit triple digits. Oh God! So we could hit $10 gas here in the next.
And we're walking.
Yeah, we're gonna start walking everywhere.
For real, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, now my Prius is making a lot more sense, isn't it?
We never hated you.
No,
for
dude,
it.
so many people fucking give me shit about driving a Prius, and I'm like,
Name 10.
Oh, NW had a great take here. Pon should fight the winner of Lawler and Barberena. Yes. I love that one.
Sure.
Joseph Blotti, gentlemen, should Michelle move up to middleweight? Imagine his gas tank at 185. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would help him,
Yeah, it would
a,
help him
lot
a lot
if he moved to 185 middleweight.
And he'd
I think
still
that's
keep
where
the
he
power.
should be. Yeah.
He'd still keep the power.
He could fight Paula Pasta. That'd be a fun fight, dude.
I want to see. We got to wait for Paulo to make weight first. Him, Luke Rockhold.
Do you guys think he's making weight for the Rockhold fight?
I don't know.
I don't. Luke's already came out and said, hey, I'll give you a 10-pound advantage, but anything less and you can fuck right off. That's what Luke said. So, Luke's already preparing for this fat fuck to miss weight.
Coming in at 225.
Just comes in 250.
Fat fuck just chiseled. Just fat. Yeah, Paula Pasta. What are you doing? Dude, that guy needs to get the fuck off social media, too.
Oh, it's crazy.
Bro.
It's bad.
Even Dana White's like, tweet at him, take this shit off, you goofball. Like,
He's
what
saying
are
a
you
lot
doing?
of cool words that wouldn't be allowed if you were American on social media.
Are you serious?
He's saying a lot of cool words interacting with his fans. So shout out to Paulo. He's one of my favorite Twitter followers.
Cool word.
He follows you on Twitter?
Or sorry, no, that I follow.
Oh, yeah, okay. Let's get into church coin picks. So I took Pereira. I put 1,000 church coin on him, and he was a slight favorite. So that gave me a return of 869 church.
Yeah, I put 2,300 on Ponzinibbio and lost that one.
All right, let's move on to the next fight. Chidi Ninjokwani.
Does he have a nickname?
Ninjaquani.
It's Chidi Bang Bang.
Okay, let's just say Bang Bang.
I love Chidi Bang Bang. That's a fucking sweet name.
It is. Chidi's a cool name. I like Chidi.
Dusko, this was a good fight, too. Dusko tried taking him down multiple times. Chidi almost had that guillotine attempt that gets out.
one.
Then Chidi, dude, that fucking elbow to get
Perfectly timed elbow. Perfectly timed elbow on the separation there. And that was a wrap. And, very interesting because in most scenarios, like a Francis Ngannou, he'll knock someone out cold and then jump on top of him and punch him again. And I'm like, Francis,
you're going to kill somebody.
You knew that guy was out. But I was surprised Chidi didn't try to drop more strikes on Dusko, or Dushko as they call him. Why do they call him that?
Dushko.
That's what they call him. They called him that on the broadcast multiple times.
Were they joking or?
No, I guess that's how you pronounce it in whatever country he's from.
Dushko Bag Dorvik. That's a good fucking name.
It's not douche, but it's Dushko.
I think you're trolling me right now.
I'm not trolling you, bro. Go watch the broadcast.
What if he comes up and tries to fight us, man?
Because me and Ken were watching this fight, and I rewound it, and I go, Ken, do you hear that? Do you hear that? The Dushko? Dushko. It's not Dushko, it's Dushko. But I'm like, it's so weird. There's no H there, so I don't understand why we're pronouncing it. Nonetheless, I don't know why I'm talking about that. But yeah, perfectly timed elbow. And like, I was shocked that Chidi didn't jump on top of him and drop another elbow. But good on him. Because he definitely could have.
I didn't know who this Chidi Gangbang guy was for the longest
He's a
time.
Contender Series guy.
Did you say gangbang?
Oh, sorry, Gangbang.
Chidi Gangbang. Chidi Bang Bang.
Chidi Gangbang is fucking on the map now for me, man. I'm gonna watch this guy because he's a huge 185er. Long, lengthy, jacked, made Dusko look fucking small. So I'm gonna watch this guy. 35 years old. He's doesn't have the most time left. So like, let's not take our time building this guy up. I want to see him fight somebody good.
Yeah, he definitely got to fight soon.
He was talking about calling out Alex Pereira. Did you see that? So, I mean, if Alex Pereira beats Sean Strickland, is that a fight they make? Probably not. But, Chidi gets 2 more wins. Maybe down the road. I like this guy a lot. I think he's got a lot of power, 185, and I could see him contending in this division.
Yeah, and he's a Brazilian black belt, too. Jiu-jitsu black belt.
He only has 1 submission in his entire career.
Yeah, however, though,
he's just knocking motherfuckers out.
He got up in those bad situations, too, with Dusko, who was trying to, take him down, take his back, and he was able to get right back up. So you definitely saw that jiu-jitsu on display. I was impressed with that defense.
Yeah, so let's get into Church Coin picks. I did take Todorovic. I thought he was going to get the victory here. I thought he was going to take him down and just dominate Chidi Gangbang on the ground. But so I put 1,000 Church Coin on Todorovic, and I lost that.
I put 200 Church Coin on Chidi and got 105 back.
All right, let's move on to the next fight. Paulie and Aviana versus Tabitha Riki. I'm going to be 100% honest. I did not watch this fight.
That's fair.
I didn't care.
Okay.
To be honest, I just don't care.
Tabor,
makes for bad.
I just didn't care about this card. I just didn't want to fucking watch it. Like I forced myself to watch this. Like I was really excited for the Ponzinibbio for sure.
Tabor, do you know how fucking busy I was this week, and I watched this entire card?
You know what I did yesterday instead?
I don't know.
I grilled some steaks. No, I grilled some steaks.
You didn't even go out, so you were in your home. You could have fucking played it on your phone as you're grilling things. It's not that bad.
It's so good. The dinner was so bomb.
Yeah. Tabitha Riki, is it Riki? I think it's Riki. But it wasn't that good of a fight.
Yeah,
okay, you didn't miss much. It was all right. They were grappling, they were exchanging, whatever. It is what it is. I put 100 Church Coin on Riki for the win and got that. So 76 Church Coin. Return.
I put 500 Church Coin on Aviana just because I think she's hot, and I lost that one.
Please continue to bet that way. And next time, Paula Pasta, because he's a very good-looking man. Please
I ain't ever putting any fucking money on Pasta for the rest of my goddamn
Watch
life.
him come out and just
beats the shit. He
out.
probably will.
Oh, dude, I'm putting money on Paula for sure, or Pasta. Excuse me.
Paula's a sister, I think.
Yeah, Paula and Paulo, brother and sister. But no, Paulo, I know, I always call him Paula, and I don't mean to. That's Paula like an Pasta. Unintended troll. Paula Pasta. Paulo. No, dude, I'm going all in on Paulo, bro. He's knocking Luke out. Come on, let's get realistic. Paulo's got to land one shot, and Luke's out. All right, let's move on. Eric Anders, Junyoung Park. This fight was a fight.
It was a pretty good fight, actually.
Yeah, it was. They were going back and forth and exchanging here, and it was a split decision. It was a very, very close fight. How did you judge this?
I don't know, man. Like
I thought
it was tough. Anders was actually throwing more, which is one thing I was really talking about before this fight happened. I was like, this guy needs to fucking throw because he goes into a lot of his fights and he marches forward and gets hit. Yep. He doesn't throw. He looks for the one-punch KOs. This fight, he was actually much more active in the strikes. I don't know if it was enough. I thought Park looked better on the feet.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely did. He was landing more here. It was close, but I actually edged it apart just slightly. I thought he did enough to win this fight. It was a split decision. Could have went either way, but it is what it is.
Yeah, so I did take Park. I put 500 Church Coin on him. They gave me a nice return of 222 because he was a big favorite coming into this fight. Mason, you had 100 on Anders, and you lost that one. Let's get into parlays. I had Todorovic, Vieira, 1,000 Church Coin, lost that one. Mason, your parlay for this week was Vieira, Pons, Chidi, 1,800 Church Coin, lost that one.
Had I had hit that, I would have been right back.
Yep.
Right back in it. But,
yep. So overall, it was a pretty good week for me. I netted about 5,000 Church Coins. So now my new total is 39,027 church coin. Mason, you got about 3,000 church coin netted, so now your new total is 11,199 church coin coming into this next week where there is no card. So
nope, no card for, I keep wanting to say Labor Day. It's Memorial Day. No card this week, guys, but we'll still be in the studio next Sunday breaking down the fight night, June 4th, 2022.
Yeah, who is that one?
So that fight night card is Volkov versus Rosenstrok. But what's hilarious about that is still that's the only fight announced on that card.
What?
Yeah.
Are you? No way.
I'm dead
fucking pulling up
fucking
ESPN
serious,
right
bro. Look, so UFC right here, Volkov versus Rosenstrok.
Oh my God.
Still the only fight. So
what are they
haven't
doing?
Even booked the fight. I don't know. I think they might
going
just
to be
cancel
trash.
it. Yeah, they might.
Maybe they just push
trash.
it back, possibly.
But you can't. UFC 275 is June 11th, so you might as well just throw that fight on the main card at 275. Because, dude, let's be honest here. 275, the top 3 fights, phenomenal. I love them. All 3 of them. You got Glover Teixeira versus Jerry Prochaska. Awesome. You have Valentina Shevchenko, Talia Santos. Awesome. You have Weili Zhang versus Joanna. Awesome. But then it kind of falls off a little bit. Manel Cape, which was a great fighter, but he's fighting Rodrigo Bontorin. But, and then after that, you're like, huh?
Dude, I think 277 is a better card than 276 is. I mean,
You're right.
Adesanya, Jared Cannonier, Alexander Volkov, Max Holloway, Sean Strickland, Alex Pereira, Lauren Murphy, Misha Tate, Pedro Munoz, Sean O'Malley, Uriah Hall, Andrew Muniz, Jessica Ai, Macy Barber. I don't know. That's actually a pretty good
But
card.
I mean, I hate doing this, and I hope we do get a card for Saturday, June 4th. But if it's just going to be absolute, like, nobodies, like, you might as well just move this Alexander Volkov, Jairzinho Rosenstrok on the pay-per-view, you know, because they still don't have this fight announced. They don't have any more fights announced, and this fight is 2 weeks away.
Hey, Dana, what's up? Hey, you're fighting this week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dana versus the Saudi
Can I
Motto.
make weight? I don't think I can make weight for this, Dana. You're fighting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's wild. It's wild. I just
They got this week to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's move on to MMA news. Okay. Did you hear the news that Tony and Habib were going back and forth on Twitter about possibly coaching the next Ultimate Fighter season against each other? Tony feels like, you know, he had all these fights and he got to, like, finish the beef. Like, he had beef with Oliveira before that fight. He had beef with Chandler. He had beef with Gaethje. He started shit-talking. But, like, those fights all came to a conclusion. But we never got that conclusion with Habib. And he's still talking shit to Habib. So, I guess to get his conclusion, he said, hey, how about this, Habib? You don't want to fight? Fine. Let's do the Ultimate Fighter as coaches. I'll coach my team, you coach your team, and that will be our way of competing against each other. And Habib was down for it.
Stupid. I don't
Why?
want to see it. I don't want to see it in any capacity.
Wow, I was not expecting that.
I know. And this is going to surprise a lot of people, but I just do not care to see that happen and not get the fight. And like, I love El Kukui, but you know, he's on a 4-fight losing streak. Like, if you want to make another run.
Well, the fighters don't have to fight each other.
No, I understand that. This is the point. This is the point I'm trying to make, though. Like, if you're on a 4-fight skid, like, if you really do want to come back in this lightweight division and be a top contender again, you need to not have all your focus on a Habib Nurmagomedov in coaching on the Ultimate Fighter, when in reality you should be going to a gym, training with training partners, and trying to get back in it. Don't take your attention away. Don't take your attention away for 10 weeks on the Ultimate Fighter. It's like, you know, that's been the problem with Tony, is like, he wants to train by himself. He doesn't have a team. He doesn't have anyone he wants to train with. You know, Charles Oliveira offered to train with him, and he said no.
Well, he wants that fight again, which is never going to happen.
It's never going to happen. And like, that's the thing. Like, for as much as I respect Tony Ferguson and I love watching him fight, I just don't think he makes the best decisions when it comes to a lot of that. I mean, who am I to say that? Because, like, I'm not a fighter or anything, but, like, just from the outside looking in, I just don't think he makes the best decisions for his career. I don't think this Habib-Tony coaching Ultimate Fighter is a good decision when you're on a 4-fight skid and you need to get in the win column again.
I couldn't disagree more, actually.
How so? What's your take on this?
That's the perfect thing to do. One, you generate numbers. Like, people are going to watch Tony versus Habib. Like, not Tony versus Habib, the fight, obviously, because it's never going to happen. But, like, Tony versus Habib coaching, that'll get me to tune into Ultimate Fighter. Like, I don't give a fuck about Pena Nunez. I'm not going to watch this shit. There's going to be no, like, maybe there's some drama. Okay, cool. But not to the level that Tony and Habib would have. And the competition, seeing them face off in, like, coaches' competition, I think that'd be very entertaining. I would love to watch that. That would get me to tune in. But in the aspect of what's best for Tony's career, I disagree with you even more because he's never going to fight for a belt again. He's probably not going to fight a top 5 contender in the next few years. So why not get a little hype behind your name doing the Ultimate Fighter and then make big fights, move up to 170, have money fights, fight an Nate Diaz, fight someone like that.
Yeah, that's kind of how I was phrasing my argument, though. If he wants to be a top contender and whatnot.
Like he's not going to be. And he needs to realize that.
But does Tony ever realize anything?
No, well, he's fucking insane in the membrane, but like he's never going to be a top contender again, ever. Ever. Okay. And if he realized that, I think doing the Ultimate Fighter would be a great idea.
Yeah, I just could care less. Like, and that's the thing, like, okay, they coach the Ultimate Fighter. They're still not fighting. Like, Habib's not fighting. And, like, Habib can just take it easy and just be like, sure, I'll coach, whatever. I don't, like, there's no stakes there the same way where it's like Amanda and Juliana or, Jorge versus Colby would have been a great Ultimate Fighter season. There's just so many better options, I think, right now in the UFC. I would have rather see Habib versus Charles. I think that would be... Even if they don't fight, I'd probably want to see that even more than I would.
Well, no matter what, Habib coaching the Ultimate Fighter, he's never going to fight again. He said this multiple times.
Right.
Like,
then I just don't want to see him coach. Like, if you're not... Focus on Eagle FC. I mean, Eagle FC is doing a great job. Like, they're putting on, decent fights for what they have. And I don't know, man. I just don't really care. I don't really care about that, if I'm being honest. I know it's a different take than yours, but I just don't see, like, where it's... I don't know, where it's entertaining, where I would care, because they're not going to fight. Habib's still not going to fight. I mean, yeah, it would be nice to see him on TV, I guess.
Tony Ferguson's one of the best shit talkers in the game, bro. Like, you don't want to see him fucking throwing shit at Habib.
Okay, so they're talking shit so for funny. 10 I know. It would be funny, but it's like they're talking shit for 10 weeks and they don't fight. It's like, it's so easy to run your mouth when you know you're not having to fight the guy. Like, that's where I kind of, like, draw the line. I'm like, okay.
Well, he ran his mouth even when they were going to fight, so.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I just don't want to see it. But for the people who do, I get it. My number one dream tough coaches was always John and DC. Can't believe they never did that. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, I would have tuned into that season. What about you, Devin? Do you give a shit at seeing Tony versus Habib as tough coaches?
Yeah, not really if they're not going to fight. I mean, I guess if you have nothing better to do, but I'm sure there's better candidates. But who do I know? I don't know. I'd have to think about it.
There's a lot of them. I mean, like Usman versus Colby, Jorge versus Colby.
I think that time has passed for both of those.
All of those are gone.
Let me think of.
Colby is not the game. We're going to talk about Usman here in a minute too.
You could do Israel Adesanya.
Jared Cannonier. No, I don't. I think
not Jared, but you could do. I mean, if Robert ever gets back to a position where he could fight for the belt again, you could have done Max Holloway, Alexander Volkanovski. I think that would
have been a good one.
I think that was the one to make.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, they just did Volk and fucking Ortega though, and that shit sucked.
Well, he's just too nice.
Yeah, that's the thing. But Volk and Max, I think would be fun.
I think they're both like the nicest guys ever, and there wouldn't be much shit talk. There'd be no drama, in my opinion. They'd have to. I think that's what happened with the Ortega Wolf shit. Is they went up to him and like, "Hey, there's no drama. You guys need to make some. Our numbers are failing."
You know, it'd be a good one too. Actually, if these guys ever rematch, I think this one would be a lot of fun. Michael Chandler and Justin Gaethje.
Oh yeah, that would be.
I think that would be a good season.
Yeah,
because Justin doesn't put up with shit, and Chandler's nice, but Chandler will talk shit too if he needs to. I would like that.
I think I'd like to. I think I'm on the path of you, Mason. I think this was you of the Izzy. I'd like to see him in one because he talks. You know, he doesn't talk shit, but he just backs his shit up.
NW.
So you give him versus anyone who's fighting him next for the belt if he retains it.
NW said TJ versus Cruz. If you're looking for entertainment, it doesn't have to be champs. Very
well.
True.
Yeah, very.
I think
true.
Cruz might get too upset. Maybe. I don't know, but that's also a good one.
I'm the best. I do the most research. Okay.
There's no one who does more research than me. You can't make jokes. I did more research on comedy. We love you, Dom. Just trolling.
Yeah.
What if you did Figgy Moreno before they do their fourth fight.
That's another one you could do.
I feel like you could do
Like
that.
that one, yeah.
That one would be probably big. I mean,
Aljamain
they're both
Sterling
pretty good,
and,
nice guys.
Dude,
but-
you could do Aljamain Sterling and TJ, and that'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
You
I
do
think
that.
anytime you get TJ, because TJ's always been a fun coach.
And he's a shitty shit talker, so
Yeah.
it's like really cringe and terrible, but it's like still entertaining.
I watched
Or
those
speaking of shit
Cody
talkers-
Garbrandt, the Cody Garbrandt one,
Yeah.
that one was fun.
Speaking of shit talkers, what if? Look, Mason's not gonna be happy about this, but what if you get the king of cringe in there?
Triple C versus...
What do you mean I would be
Sterling?
happy? I love Henry Cejudo. Dude,
You said you didn't want to see him fight again.
What? When
Isn't
did
that what
say
you
that?
When did I say that?
Isn't that what you said when we were talking about him a couple weeks ago, that you didn't really care to see him fight?
No, you're like
no,
totally
I said I
opposite,
don't
bro.
care to see him fight Alexander Volkanovski at
yeah.
featherweight. Except
Okay.
for that one, except for that one scenario, I said I would have rather seen him fight Alexander at featherweight than Korean Zombie, as much as I respect Zombie. But no, bro, I'm fucking pumped for King of Cringe to come back.
Okay,
to the
you
UFC.
do- you
He's
do-
in the testing pool now.
You do king of cringe and TJ. That would be a good matchup.
That'd be a great.
That would be the
one.
best.
That'd be a great one.
Because-
yeah, for sure.
I feel like you said, Aljo and cringe would be good, but they were hanging out with each other, so I think that's kind of the fake fabricated shit. So you do him and Jan, or him and TJ. I think him and TJ would be a good one.
I think the only problem with Henry Cejudo and TJ Dillashaw is Henry said he would never fight TJ again because he cheated.
Yeah, well, he's talking. He's talking. That's exactly what I want.
But again, if TJ's got the belt, then there's not much you can do. There's not much you can do if you're a Triple C.
And W coming in with the fucking fires take. Strickland versus Izzy season would be nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Sign me up
But
for
I think
that one.
I think before they do an Izzy one, they'd try to get Pereira up there for whatever reason.
Well, that's why fucking Pereira's about to get knocked down fucking several notches by Sean Strickland, possibly. So if Strickland wins that fight and he's a possible contender coming up in the rankings, like, why the fuck not? Who else is he going to fight if after he smokes Cannonier? Like, I would love that.
Pasta.
I would, no.
No, fuck no, dude.
No. All right, we've spent enough time in the Ultimate Fighter. Before we leave this one, are you watching the Ultimate Fighter right now with Pena Nunez?
I'm 2 episodes behind.
Okay, cool.
Not gonna lie.
Okay, cool. So
I need to catch up. I'll probably will this weekend.
moving on to other MMA news. Speaking of Pena and Nunez, too, it is confirmed now for UFC 277. What are your immediate thoughts on this rematch? We did talk about the line earlier about how crazy it is. I think Nunez was like a minus
These were future
210.
odds dropped in January after the fight. But,
minus 210 or 250.
No, she was a minus 250 to a plus 210 Juliana Pena,
That's crazy.
which is so disrespectful.
I'm putting money on Pena if that's the truth. Are you interested in this rematch? Do you believe it's going to be a repeat of the first fight? Like, is it going to be way more tightly contested? Does this go 5 rounds? Does someone get finished? Is it a great main event?
5 rounds.
Hell yeah. I think it's going to be a great fight. I think it's going to be completely different than the first. There's no one scarier than a truly motivated Amanda Nunez, especially getting embarrassed the way that she did, being as dominant as she has for as long as she has and being the greatest women's fighter in mixed martial arts history. And then to go out there and get completely outclassed in the first round and then get submitted against someone that she said had no chance against her and that she wasn't scared of her and that she wasn't ducking her. Everything that Juliana Pena built that entire time, would go into the press conference at one time and asking Dana, "Oh, Amanda dropped. When is she going to fight me?" and doing all that. Like, it really showed that Juliana Pena believed that she was going to win. I do think this fight will be much closer than the first. Amanda is I guarantee, is working harder than ever to not get embarrassed like that. And I don't mean embarrassed like in a disrespectful way. I just mean because she was so dominant and like she was such a heavy favorite in that fight. No one thought it was going to go down like that. But yeah, I think it'll be closely contested, and who knows? It's a coin flip for me. It really is. But yeah, I'm not even going to make my pick right now. It's just too early.
It's the worst matchup they could have made. I fucking hate this fight.
What?
Fuck both these fighters.
Look, Tabor, stop with the comedy, all right?
Oh, sorry.
Get
Am I
serious.
not funny?
No. Get real.
It's for me. I'm sorry. No, yeah, I'm excited. I think it's going to be a good fight. I'm actually really intrigued because if Nunez comes in like that, I actually want her to believe. I think the best thing for Nunez would be the betting underdog in this fight because that would truly motivate her. And like you said, a motivated Amanda Nunez is fucking scary.
Yeah.
Extremely scary. But is Pena going to be as motivated as she was now that she has the belt?
Yeah, she wants to keep that
I
champ.
hope
Oh,
so.
yeah, she does.
I
Yeah,
hope
she
so,
does.
because a motivated Amanda, this is going to be the fight that we deserve the first time, not the fight that we got. I mean, Amanda was beating the shit out of Pena in that first round, and then Pena just came out and not gave a fuck. Dude, she was getting hit with big strikes, and then she just didn't care. She was walking through all of Amanda's strikes and beating the piss out of her in that second round to take her down and submit her immediately like that. It was absolutely insane. I'm very excited for this matchup, and I do believe the winner of this fight, regardless of the outcome, is going to be able to say, I'm one of the greatest female fighters of all time, period. Even though Pena doesn't obviously have like the accolades in terms of title defenses and stuff like that.
You're right, but it would be interesting to see. I like both these women, and I don't want either of them to lose, but if Amanda lost again, and then we start to see some actual competition in that division, because it's been
boring. It's just stagnant.
It's just been stagnant because Amanda's been so dominant. But if she loses again and has to work her way back up for a third shot, which no doubt she could do, I would like to see that as well.
Yeah,
that'd be nice, because there's nothing happening in the other divisions. So
no, featherweight. There's even been a featherweight fight in the last 6 months.
There's been like nothing, and they don't even have rankings on the UFC website. So
no, they haven't. They never have.
I would like to see that, because we're not going to see the Amanda losing to Juliana kind of took away the wind or the sails of the Valentina rematch. So maybe we see Juliana and Valentina in the future if Juliana can retain the belt. That's something I'd like to see as well, so we could take that route. What do you think about that, Mason?
Yeah, I mean, that works for me. I'm still trying to find these odds like on DraftKings, but it doesn't look like they have these odds.
It just got confirmed like this week, so
yeah.
Give them a little time.
It is what it is.
Give them a little time. Let's move on to other MMA news. This is stuff I didn't add to the notes, but it is relevant. Kamaru Usman, his manager, Ali Al-Abdesleez, has came out and said that essentially Usman is not going to be ready by August, is what they're trying to make that fight versus Leon Edwards. They're saying it could be more around fall, maybe the end of fall.
Which means winter.
Yeah, maybe winter. So, I mean, if we don't get a December fight card, like, what are they going to do in this welterweight division? Marty has not fought in this year yet. So, I mean, what are we going to do? Is there going to be an interim title shot? Are we going to wait? Does Hamzat Chimaev versus Colby Covington happen before this? And the winner of that fight leapfrog Leon Edwards? Does Leon Edwards have to fight? You did have Kamaru Usman coming out on Twitter saying, essentially, Colby Covington is the gatekeeper. You must beat him to get the title fight with me. Is he telling Leon Edwards to fight?
No, Dana already confirmed Leon's getting the next shot. I think you do Hamzat Colby for an IC if Kamaru's not fighting until essentially next year.
Yeah, but that would fuck Leon, though.
Because then the IC
would have to fight.
Shot.
So if there's an IC, it almost has to be Leon Edwards,
Don't
right?
do an IC.
Don't do an IC. Here's the thing. When was Kamaru Usman fought when? December last year?
December or November, something like that.
So, guys,
I think it was November MSG.
Here's the thing. You have to look at the track record of the champion, okay? I understand. If people get upset where it's like, oh, these guys never fight. Kamaru Usman has been very active throughout his career. He has an injury dealing with ligaments that, again, you know, me and Devin were talking about this before it even this podcast even started. You know, you're dealing with, in his dominant hand, you're dealing with ligaments that, if torn again or if not properly healed, could ruin his fighting career. Like, could completely ruin it, and he could be out 18, 24 months in the hopes that he would recover. In this scenario, you got to look at the track record and look at how active Kamaru Usman has been. And the fact that, one, he already beat Leon Edwards. Two, we know he's not ducking him. It's Kamaru Usman. For crying out loud, he took on Colby Covington twice. Okay, he took on Jorge Masvidal twice. He took all these killers on twice. Like, he does not care. It's just he needs time to heal. And we're not even up on 12 months yet. Now, we can have this discussion
it's usually
again.
6 months, then they start talking about interim championships.
It's typically 12 because look at the heavyweight division. Look at DC.
Look at the heavyweight
Stipe.
division. It was 3 months before they did the one with fucking Francis, my guy.
Well, it's because of the Francis situation. We all know why that happened. That's pretty clear and obvious. Dana White doesn't like Ngannou much.
I think they're going to have to do an IC because look at the UFC's track record. When they have a big pay-per-view and they don't have an open title fight, they almost always throw an interim title fight on the main event because they need a belt to sell pay-per-views. At least that's what they think. They don't need to have a belt every time, but it's like that's normally what they do.
Okay, well, you have who are the top contenders right now in that division? Colby,
and W
Gilbert,
says
Hamzat.
Chimaev Leon for an interim.
Nah, Leon does not have to fight again.
Leon
if
doesn't
I'm
have to
him,
fight.
I'm just.
Well, but if there's an interim, he has to fight for that. Like
I don't want there to be. He deserves this shot. Please do not take it away from him, Tabor. I'm begging you.
No, what the fuck am I gonna do about it?
That's the thing too. Like I just, I'm okay sitting and waiting. Again, I look at the track record of a guy like Usman, and I get it. Like this is a very tender situation, dealing with something that could potentially ruin his fight career. I don't think Dana White's going to jeopardize that. I don't think we need an interim champ for 4 or 5 months. Leon Edwards is the guy. It's just a shitty situation. We're just going to have to sit back and wait. But there are still very entertaining fights that we could do in this welterweight division. Khamzat Chimaev, Colby Covington. There it is right there, Make that fight on the same card or make it in October or whatever. Winner of that gets the next shot after Leon Edwards, or the winner of Usman Edwards.
You could do
what's more realistic, Chimaev Covington or Covington Poirier?
I guess that fight was offered to Dustin.
He said
yes.
yes.
Dustin said yes. If that is the case, then I think your probability is probably more likely, Tabor, that they will in fact do the IC Leon Edwards, Khamzat Chimaev, because if Colby's taken out of the picture, I mean, what else are you going to do with Khamzat? You just beat Gilbert Burns, who at the time was number 3 or 4 in the world.
You could do Gilbert Bilal, I guess.
For an interim?
No, just for the fights in the division. You could do
could
Gilbert.
You could do Bilal Khamzat.
Oh, that's a great fight too.
Yes, but I feel like both of them would take that fight, but I don't think UFC is going to offer that. I think the most realistic thing you have is Khamzat, Colby. Leon was just going to wait, and then you do Gilbert Bilal. You could do, I guess, Masvidal, Thompson, and Luque, Sean Brady, or something like that.
And W has said if Leon sits and Chimaev gets another win, he's getting jumped, so he might as well fight him. Colby isn't fighting anytime soon. It'll mess up his lawsuit against George. That is very true, because if you're saying you have brain damage in the lawsuit from George, and then you go and take a fight, it doesn't look very good for your case.
I think we all know Colby's winning that case pretty easily, though. I mean,
yeah, I do not see that litigating for too much
kind of admitted
longer.
it on video and then
on a live
video,
stream. He snitched on himself.
So funny.
Might as well have made a song and then dropped it and snitched on himself, because that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, like how rappers were like, yeah, I shot this guy in the face. It's like,
Gun rap. We know you killed Donnell
Rollins. You
Rollins.
actually shot him in the face. Who?
Oh, it's not.
Oh.
Can't
Yeah,
do
no, so yeah, that's true. Colby's probably not fighting anytime soon. It's kind of a shit show right now. Thanks a lot, Jorge.
I think they're gonna do an IC. If I had to put money on it, I think an IC is coming probably sometime the end of the summer, maybe August, maybe September.
Masvidal, Khamzat, IC. Let's do it.
Just gets
Please.
fucking destroyed.
Please. That'd be fun.
I think the issue is if Leon decides to sit, it might fuck him over. And I don't want it to. I do believe Leon is the next guy. He deserves to be able to sit and wait for this title fight. It just depends on when Kamaru's coming back. If Kamaru says, I'm not coming back till December, I would not be shocked they make an IC. I would not be shocked. If Kamaru goes, I'll be back September. I'll be back
I just
October.
don't know how.
I think it could happen.
Leon's been a model employee for the UFC. If
He's
they keep
taking all the
fucking
fights.
him over, I mean, I feel like Dana wouldn't do that. I mean, he's already said he's getting the shot. Like, I understand people don't want to wait. You don't want to hold up the division, blah, blah, blah. But Khamzat's just got to wait, man. He just got to wait. They could do the Burns rematch, which he already said. I mean, Khamzat's calling out everyone right now. So
Khamzat's the guy that wants to fight. He's going to want to fight.
He could fight anyone in the top 10 just for fun. You could try to get the Colby fight, but like you said, I guess it'll mess with his lawsuit, but not really. I don't think so. If they did it towards like the fall, maybe. But I think don't
Khamzat
want
fights
Leon
again this year.
Yeah, I do too. I just don't think he's gonna jump Leon unless Leon gets injured or something. There's just it would be pretty disrespectful to jump Leon again.
If there's an IC and they do the IC, it's Leon Khamzat. There's no other fight to make. That's it. And Leon would be stupid not to take that fight, in my opinion, because one, it would solidify him. Like, he already is solidified as number one contender, but if there's an IC belt, he needs to be in that fight. I know it sucks because he should just fight Kamaru automatically.
Well, how many is this guy gonna fight? Just no, you'll get it. No, next one.
If there's an IC
you just gotta say no.
If there's an IC, he needs to take that fight. Anything else would fuck him over. He needs to. But I hope it doesn't come into this situation, but it might.
So that's kind of the issue I have, like with this whole argument here, because how many top 5 guys has Khamzat Chimaev taken on?
Just one.
Okay. How many top 5 guys has Leon Edwards taking on
1,000?
in his
No.
9-fight streak?
No, let's look this up right now. Leon.
Or at the time was a top 5.
Leon's last win was Nate. And then before that, it was Bilal Muhammad, who is now number 5 in the world.
Right.
But at the time, Bilal was like top 10. Before that, what was his fight before that? Luque? No, he didn't fight Luque for a long time. Who did Leon beat before he beat Nate and Bilal?
Nate, Bilal, it would have been, I don't know.
I think it was.
Dos Anjos.
Yeah,
At
that's
the
a
time
top
was a
5.
top 5.
Yeah, that's a top 5 victory.
And beat Nelson as well.
That's top 10.
Gunnar Nelson. And
He
then
almost
Cowboy
lost that fight in the
Cerrone.
3rd round, too.
Yeah.
Cowboy, yeah, he couldn't finish Cowboy. I don't know. It's tough. It's a tough situation. I would not want to beat Leon Edwards right now.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's beat Luque, he's beat Bilal. I mean, well, I guess no contest, but he was beating Bilal. He's beat Dos Anjos. I mean, you just got to give him the shot. Don't fuck him over, man.
I know. I'm tired of it. It's just like we've been having this conversation on this podcast
For like a
for
year and a half.
2.5 years since the inception of the Church of MMA. So it's been a long time coming for Leon. Feel bad for him.
And they're going to do an IC. There's no other main event for August pay-per-view right
Yeah,
now.
RDA was number 3 when Leon beat him.
Mm-hmm.
And that was what? That was what?
It's like 2019.
Yeah, 3 years ago. Are you kidding me? He beat number 3 in the world, and 3 years later, and we're still talking. And he still continued to win, and still continued to get fights pulled, going through Big C, Little V, then having to take on Nate Diaz because
he was
of
out
this
for
or
like a
that.
year and a half because of Big C, Little V.
Yeah, which wasn't his fault. He just couldn't come over here at the time.
Couldn't come over here, and then fights were falling out.
Thanks, Obama.
Wrong guy.
Oh,
Wrong guy.
okay.
Thanks. Who the fuck was the prime minister of?
Thanks, Fauci.
Who's the prime minister of the UK? Cosmo. I wish you were here. Our resident
It was actually Cosmo's fault. Let's just blame it on
it's
them. Make it
Cosmo's
easier.
fault, fucker.
Thanks, Cosmo.
Yeah, thanks,
Piece of
Cosmo.
shit.
All right. Is there anything else you guys want to add? What's coming up next for Have You Seen a Podcast, Mason?
Guys, I'm very excited. So this week we're going to be reviewing Men, an A24 film, and it is the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life. It is... I can't even put in words how fucking wild this movie is. Whether you like it or hate it, you can at least walk out of the theater going, what the fuck did I
Let me
just
guess.
watch?
Men are pigs. Men are bad. I'm guessing that's the movie.
No, it's not. No. Why do you make that assumption?
I don't
Do
know.
you have something
Probably
against
some
men?
No, it's probably some fucking feminist
no.
propaganda.
No, it's really not. It's
Jesus
actually
Christ, Tabor.
Yeah,
Can you just
jeez.
be positive
Yeah, be
today?
positive
Even a
for
negative
once.
Nancy all day.
Yeah,
No,
it's been a
I don't
negative
care.
Nancy.
No.
I just didn't.
fuck.
I didn't
But-
give a shit about this card.
I'm really excited, though, because we are reviewing the prequels next week. We're going to be recording them this week. Me and Cash. Cash bought a Jedi outfit. I bought a Sith outfit. We're going to be reviewing all of the prequels in preparation for the Obi-Wan series dropping on Disney Plus May 27th. We're going to be reviewing those episode by episode. I am just so ecstatic,
Can
so
I
excited for
play
that.
Lando or a young Lando or something on there? Or
Is that,
can I do that?
yeah.
All right, cool.
That should be okay. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
Well, I'd prefer to be like Luke or something, but
You
like,
can be Luke.
That's
I
cultural
don't have a
appropriation, bro.
I don't have a problem with it, honestly. It's just these other people got a problem. I don't mind.
Whiteface?
Dude,
Tabor's got a
it's
problem with it. Yeah. Well, we just voted him out. It's fine.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, but yeah, we're reviewing the prequels. We've
That
done
reminded me of.
500 movie reviews, and I've never done the prequels. Never got to review them. So I'm just so excited to do that. Yeah. So that's what we're
Aunt
doing.
W says he just watched Old. That's one of your movies, right? M. Night Shyamalan. That's you.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. It looked like trash, so I didn't watch it. But
Yeah.
This is one of the most random movies I ever watched.
Yeah. Look, I have not seen that film yet. But
All right.
alrighty.
What's next for the Knights Book Club?
Yeah, what's next?
Brotherhood, the brand new Star Wars book by Mike Chen dropped. This is set in between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith, as Anakin Skywalker was just appointed Jedi Master, and it's about the
I thought he was
relationship
a
between.
knight. What did he? I thought he didn't become a master, and that's why.
Or excuse me, yes, Jedi Knight. Excuse me,
Oh,
yeah, you're
okay.
right.
You call yourself a
What the
nerd.
fuck?
Oh, whatever.
Get the lore right,
Freudian
motherfucker.
slip. But no, he becomes a Jedi Knight. But this is before Ahsoka and before he gets his Padawan and all that. But it deals with the relationship of Obi-Wan and Anakin and they're obviously Cato Nemoidians. They're going there and doing all that because it's brought up in Revenge of the Sith that there was an attack on Cato Nemoidia. So it's a really good book. I enjoyed it quite a bit. We're going to be reviewing that here shortly.
You already finished it?
Yeah, I finished the book. The book was great. One of the best books I've listened to. And, as a kid, I read so many Star Wars books, and this was one of my favorite. Honestly, it was great.
I would love to review an episode of Obi-Wan with you guys. That'd be fun.
Absolutely, dude, of course. For sure. I mean, we have 6 of them.
Put me down for the finale.
Okay, we'll put you on for the finale.
I already know how it's going to end.
No, dude, no spoilers. Come on, man.
Spoilers,
The leaks came out. You guys in here?
No.
All right, well, Obi-Wan dies.
No.
Dude, are you serious?
They just
Come on,
yeah,
bro.
they're like, we're taking the original trilogy. No other canon.
No.
Let's bring in Kenobi.
Actually, what they did was Kenobi was actually a Force ghost the whole time. The whole time. 4.
Yeah. So stupid.
So dumb. All
Bro,
right.
oh God, yeah.
Let's just move on.
Yeah. All right.
Guys, go follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, at The Church of MMA. Thank you so much for showing up here today. We really appreciate that. And hit us up.
Mason's favorite Star Wars movie is Rise of Skywalker. Good night, everyone.
No, it's not. I hate that
Good night,
movie.
everyone.
But Phantom Menace is in my top 5, and fuck you if you disagree. All right, this is the Church of MMA podcast. My name is Mason Knight. That's David Craig and Devin Davis on the 1s and 2s, and until next time.
Peace.